Guess we're going. Welcome to the Bartenders Anonymous podcast. Checking in. Another week has gone by. Another month is in progress. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm just living this fucking sober life. And it is, a little monotonous. But also there's something to be said about getting your shit together. It's been, like 2 months since I've drank, which is good. Feeling pretty solid. Pardon me. I feel like my age is showing because I'll have energy one day and not energy the next day. This weekend kind of got the place to myself because the lady of the house that's working on moving out is at the coast for her birthday. So I'm alone with the dogs and the cats and my thoughts. And, yeah, it's kind of nice because I can start trying to work on a routine, little bedtime ritual, get my shit ready for the next day. Which I feel like when you're just in survival mode and you just fucking crash out, you're not really thinking about getting stuff ready for the morning. But when you're all by yourself and you've got all the time in the world, you can be like, all right, I'm winding down. What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do in the morning? I can lay out some clothes. I can kind of get my coffee ready so it's just ready to go. Because 80% of the time, I've got a plan in my head of what I want to do in the morning. And then I wake up and I go, I don't want to fucking do that. I'm tired. I don't want to. But if you actually are getting it ready the night before, then half the work is done and you just got to press the button or whatever. So you can be sleepy and still kind of get your stuff going. I don't know. And even when I was doing it last night, I was like, this is so gay. Just like, and here's my clothes for tomorrow, and I'm grinding up some coffee so it's ready to go for me, and what else? I'm going to charge this, and then I got my notebook, and da-da-da, and it feels kind of stupid, but it's 100% you should do it. And, yeah, in the name of progress. So, I'm going to work on that. And I did. I got up early, freaking threw on this tracksuit that I never wear because it's all white and I'm scared to get it dirty. I walked the dog. Right when I woke up, chugged water, walked the dog, got back, make some coffee. I melted dark chocolate and peanut butter in it, a little bit of cream. If you're living that sober life, you got to put your energy into something, and I've been doing that with coffee. I've drank way too much coffee. The amount of caffeine that's flowing through my body by noon is obnoxious. And to the point where then I've got to just inject more for it to do anything. It's like a drug. It's like just the lamest drug. Caffeine. So then noon rolls around. I got to drink an energy drink to like get a second boost. So I'm going to have to wean myself off of caffeine at some point. Pardon me. The nicotine content's not that bad. I'm down to like a couple pouches a day. So I'm trying to cut back on that. But right now I think it's the caffeine. And then I'm feeling lethargic if I don't have 200 fucking milligrams or whatever of caffeine. So whatever, that's all just part of the progress, right? This week, it's kind of a weird week. Things are weird with the lady, obviously. But, one step closer. To my solidarity, I get these little glimpses of it where she's gone for a little while, and then I'm like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to exercise, drink coffee, have shit pop up on my fucking computer when I'm trying to... Fucking piece of shit. Alright, whatever, we're fine, we're going. Yeah. Classes are good. This week we were watching a movie. It's called The Lost Night or something like that. Basically a movie from the 40s of an alcoholic. And, yeah, so we're watching the movie and she's writing all his symptoms of why he's an alcoholic on the board. And it honestly, it just feels like when the teacher's phoning it in and we're just watching a movie. But it's actually a really good movie. Even though it's from the 40s, like it still is a legit movie. I think she said it's like an Academy Award winner or whatever. And, yeah, it's actually pretty good. And I'm just sitting there all attentive, trying to watch this movie. And one of the other girls in there, I'm the other girl. I'm one girl, and then there's the other girl. And, you know those people that won't shut the fuck up during a movie? Even though we're in class, and we're watching this movie as part of our fucking, what do you call it? Agenda, or whatever, what do you call that? The synopsis, I can't think of the word, but the regimen of the class. And this lady is just talking through the whole, like, she just won't shut the fuck up to the point where she even goes, I'm sorry, I talk through movies. And I'm just like, yeah, well, you see that. Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to watch this black and white movie. But yeah, he's an alcoholic, blah, blah, blah. Good movie. But then, I'm trying to watch the movie, and then eventually we get to a point when she pauses it. She goes, all right, that's it for the week. And then she's kind of goes over the symptoms on the board and all that, and and most of them all kind of, it's like he lies, he hides, he's agitated, da-da-da, he's unreliable, this and that, and da-da-da, and I'm like, he's a piece of shit. And she's like, she like writes it on the board. She's like, piece of shit. And she's just looking at me and she keeps laughing. And she'll go over a couple of other things and then she'll point back to the piece of shit and look at me and laugh. And she goes, and so he's a piece of shit. I'm like, yes, I am contributing to this class. I love my classes. I don't got anything else to do anyways, so. No, they're not that bad. So this week, what is it? Today's Saturday. Got another class on Monday. I think we only watch it on Wednesday. So whatever. Have another class on Monday. Work. Every weekend that I work, I feel like it gets weirder. Like I get better at the job, and then once you're good at the job, then in comes like the politics and the like power struggle and all the weird like unspoken things start kind of being spoken, because it's like I got in there on Friday or whatever, no, Saturday, and the owner's like talking to me about like cutting labor. I'm like, bitch, I've worked here like a month. I don't give a fuck about your labor. I'm your part-time, barely, I don't even work part-time. I work 2 days a week. And you're trying to give me the authority to cut labor and, like, send people home. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'll try, kind of, if it, like, pops up, but. And, speaking of the dumb guy, he's all right. He's gonna quit. He's gonna, like, move to Hawaii or something. And, all the girls are like, I know I call him the dumb guy. I'm sorry I call him the dumb guy. He's all right. He's just a little goofy. And they're like trying to send him home. He's been there like an hour or 2 hours or something. And somebody had called and reserved an 11 top. And they're like, yeah, put it in his section. So he's getting all ready. And this fucking computer, dude. So he's setting up for this 11 top, and it's like 15 minutes till the party's gonna get there, and they're like, you need to send him home. And I'm like, I would if we didn't give him an 11 top that's gonna be here in like 15, 20 minutes. And he comes up to me because they just went behind my back and like told him that I said to send him home, and so he comes up to me and he's like, he's like, hey, the girls said that you decided to send me home. And I'm like, well, we talked about it, but I didn't like decide to send you home. And I'm like, would that make you sad? Because I'm a softie, you know. I'm like, is that gonna hurt your feelings if we send you home right now? And he's like, well, yeah. I like just getting all ready for this 11 top. And I was like, all right, well, let's wait for the 11 top so I don't send him home. I'm like, fuck the labor, I don't care. And they're all just trying to bully him out anyways. So I'm like, no, yeah, stay. And so then there's like this weird thing where I can hear them saying, the girls are saying stuff under their breath, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want this authority. But if you're asking my professional opinion, no, I'm not going to send him home until this 11 party's taken care of. And sure enough, they show up. The 11 party shows up. He takes care of them. And he's like, do you want me to just focus on them, not take anybody else? I was like, yes, because we'll kick you out after that. And so then he takes care of the 11 top, and we go about our... And so, yeah, it's like kind of... I guess the girls could have handled it, but it was handled way easier because he had the big party. And whatever, we go about the day and handled it like no problems. Nobody's under stress or anything. Everything's fine. And the next day, the owner comes up to me and she's like, she's got all the labor like written out and stuff. And she's like, yeah, kind of the opposite of what I wanted. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. She's like, oh, well, I think I'm going to have so-and-so kind of like teach you how to da-da-da. And I'm like, all right, whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, if you're not here and it's like up to me, I'm just going to do whatever I think is best. It's like, well, maybe you should, I don't know, find some other ways to make more money instead of just cutting your labor. But also, I've never owned a business, so I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I just know that when you're understaffed, it's more stressful. So I'm like, I would like to be fully staffed. And, yeah, so then, well, the next night, or maybe it was Tuesday. I think I worked Tuesday this week. And so I'm work with one of the like veteran bartenders. She's there. And we go over a bunch of stuff at the end of the night. But it's really more just like the power struggle of people that have worked there a long time but still don't really have any like authority. And like the owner wants them to like help do her like her books and stuff and her kind of like accounting stuff where it's like, yeah, technically you would pay somebody like $22 an hour to do that, but you want to pay them like $14 and doesn't want to like pay the extra money that you should. So they don't want to do it. And nobody has like any kind of like manager title or anything like that. So everybody's kind of just running amok. And it's just like the owner and then whoever's bartending is basically in charge. And it's like, well, that kind of doesn't make sense if like your bartenders only worked there a month and you've got servers that have been there for like 5 years. Like, I think they should probably be in charge, if anybody. Pardon me. So, I don't know. It's just this weird power dynamic thing that's starting to show its face. And I'm like, I don't want to be in charge. Like, I'll bartend my butt off and get these drinks out and do all your lottery machines and all that at the end of the night and close up, make sure everything looks good. But when it comes to like, I don't know, being in charge just feels fucking stupid if I've been there a month and nobody else. Like, I feel like I should have a manager to teach me, and there just like isn't one. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing, but the more I work there, I'll probably get more comfortable with it. But as it sits, I'm kind of like, whatever. Guest service is my main priority, not cutting your labor. See, in my notes, I wrote grumpy, gotta poop. There was a day I was just like fucking irritable for some reason, and I kind of got into it unspokenly with one of the regulars who's like, wants his beer right now, and I was like talking to the owners because they were in there, and so I was like talking to them, making sure they had drinks, and I was like having a conversation with them, and he like, his beer was empty, and so he waited like a couple of minutes, and I was like, oh hey, you like need another beer, man? And he goes, is that one empty? And I kind of look over at it, and I was like, yeah, I think it is. And he's like, then yeah. I was like, oh, okay, you gonna be a fucking douchebag? All right. And so I give him another beer, and he's kind of just like shitty to me, and so I was shitty to him. And then he goes back and he talks shit to the other regular that I've like kind of made friends with. And at the end of the night, I was like, yeah, guy's being a fucking dick. But he kind of like got nicer towards the end of it, and he's like, yeah, I'm still kind of getting used to you, but we'll get there. I'm like, yeah, well, in time we'll probably get there. But he's like, yeah, he can be kind of a dick, but just shove Michelob's down his throat and he'll lighten up. I'm like, all right. So just weird little shit. But later I pooped and I felt better and I was in a better mood. So I was like, hey, put that in my notes. Don't forget to poop. Be getting grumpy. Let's see. I fucking, you know when somebody, confrontations, how they never like, you're like, oh, I should have said this or I should have did that. I fucking hate those. And I ran into Grocery Outlet to get some tortillas because we were making burritos or something. And I come out, I've got the tortillas, and there's this guy, he's like playing music, and I'm walking to the car, and he's playing music, and I do the dude thing, give him the head nod, like just being respectful, whatever, walking by. And he just stares at me. And, I'm getting older, and I'm like, I get annoyed with confrontations now, and so I just, like, stared back at him. And he walks past me, and he, like, turns his head, like, still staring at me, so I just did the same thing. I was like, I'll just mirror whatever you're doing. And he goes, keep digging your grave, man. And I was like, what the fuck? And I kept walking for a minute, and I was like, you know what? No, fuck that. And so I turned around and I started walking towards him. And I was like, you got a problem, dude? And he kind of just starts walking faster. And he's like, yeah, you're my fucking problem. And I was like, I don't even know what I said, but I was just like, all right, dude. And I started walking towards him like, I'm just going to fuck this guy up. But then immediately I was like, DUI, stay out of trouble. And he kind of just bitch mode, like just like speed walked into the store and just like disappeared into the store. And I was like, oh, you fucking, he's probably just on crack or something. And just like, I've noticed a couple people in this town that do that. They'll just like say something ominous, like walking past you. They'll just say something weird, almost like biblical or something, but it's like threatening. I'm like, don't fucking threaten me, motherfucker. And like, I don't like getting into fights, but I'm like, I'm tired of being a bitch. And so I'm like, next person that just says something weird to me, I'm just going to fucking throttle them. Then he just kind of like scurried away. And I was like, you motherfucker. And then I just thought about it all day. It like ruined my day. But I was like, I don't want to get into trouble. Because I'm already like trying to do good and get better. And I was like, I don't know. But that's one of those rock in a hard place where it's like, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because it's like, well, if you get into a fight and you get into trouble, you could get beat up. He might know fucking MMA or something, just beat the shit out of me. And then if you don't do anything, then you stew on it. And you're like, oh, I should have did this or I should have did that. I don't know. As you get older, maybe you get better at those kinds of things. But I don't know. I don't know what a better way would have been to handle it, but he just scurried away anyways, so it didn't really matter, but it still bugged the fuck out of me. Like these stupid crackheads just saying weird shit, they get into your head. Oh, and that day that regular was like being shitty to me, and I was in a bad mood because I had to poop apparently. But I was like, I could feel my blood pressure raising, and I was like, I gotta go outside, get some air, and just chill for a minute. And so I like go outside, get some sun, stretch a little bit. I'm like, dear Lord, please give me the patience to just get through this fucking day. And I go back inside, and there's these two older guys, and they're like, I started wearing shorts to work, and I got my apron, and these two old guys are kind of laughing, and they're like, kind of call me over there, and they're like, yo, it looks like you're wearing a skirt. And I'm like, yeah. And I just gotta start laughing because they're not being assholes. They're just like, flicking me shit, like kind of lighthearted. And So I just go over and talk to them for a couple minutes, and they're busting my balls, and I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I was kind of in a bad mood. I went outside, got some air, prayed for some patience. And they're like, yeah, like in this industry, people are assholes, and they're just always going to be assholes. And so they're like giving me respect for just doing my job and dealing with the public. And I was like, thank you. Like, that means a lot. Even though you guys are busting my balls, I appreciate that you guys are just decent human beings. Even though you said I was wearing a skirt or a kilt. I don't know. So, you gotta stand up for yourself, but try not to get in trouble. And then the good souls will show their face, and you'll have a good moment where you actually start feeling good about the human race again. But I don't know. Fucking work politics and I don't know. Just stay alive and live for those good moments. So, I got work tonight. We'll see what shenanigans happen, but I'm just going to go in there, try and smile and be in a good mood and get through it, make some cash, get the heck out. So, Bartender's Anonymous Podcast, this is another week in the books. I practiced rolling some joints yesterday. I was like, I know I can't smoke weed and I can't drink, but I could practice rolling some joints. And I'm so bad at it. I watched some YouTube videos, and I was like practicing it, and I was like, what if it like seeps into my skin? It shows up in a UA, or I like lick the wrapper, I get weed in my mouth, and I eat it. Oh, that was a gross burp. So then I put that away. I was like, well, maybe we stop. We'll roll a joint November 8th. But slowly but surely, we will get through this. All this DUI bullshit. And, and then we'll work on the next 5-year plan, which who knows? I don't know what's going to happen, but 1 week at a time. And I'll do my little audio log here. Keep you guys up to date about just a random life as a part-time bartender with a DUI, breaking up with his girlfriend, trying to stay positive. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my week. Hope you guys have a good week. Trying not to get in any fights with crackheads. Trying to be a dick to any regulars. Seek out the nice regulars. Have good conversations with them. And keep it light. Don't get stuck up in work politics and drama. That's what I'm going to try and do anyways. That being said, I hope you have a good week. Good weekend. Good September. And, yeah, I'll talk to you next week. Peace.